Hello guys, welcome to class. Today is another interesting day and we're discussing another topic, very important. In the last class, I told you about three important things that you must master as a trader. The first thing I talk about structure, right? And then the second one, I talk about liquidity. And I said I was going to tell you about the third one today. And so the third one is POI. So we're discussing POI today. Okay, so what is POI? It is simple. It is simply a point of interest. It is simply a point of interest. POI is simply point of interest. Point of interest. That is POI. Point of interest. Point of interest. Point of interest. What is point of interest? It is simply an area or a point where you are interested in buying or selling from. Okay, it is simply an area where you are interested in buying or selling from. That's your point of interest, your point of concern, where you're expecting market to react from, where you're expecting to take your trade from. It is your point of interest. Okay, and when it comes to this system, this strategy, there are two types of point of interest that I use. The first one is order blocks. Order blocks. The first one is order blocks. Order blocks. Order blocks. Then the second one is QMR or QML, which is the Quasimodo reversal or Quasimodo level. All right, Quasimodo reversal or Quasimodo level. These are the two types of point of interest that we're going to be looking at in this class. So order blocks. What is order block? Order block is simply an easiest way for you to understand. Order block is simply the last. There are two types of order blocks. So the bullish order block and the bearish order block. Those are the two types. The bullish order block and then the bearish order block. Okay, so the bullish order block, it refers to the last bearish candle. The last bearish candle before a significant bullish move. Okay, bullish move. Right? Or the last bullish candle or the last bullish candle, right? Before a significant bearish move. that leads to a BOS. Okay, that leads to a BOS. So if you said the last bearish or bullish candle before a significant bullish or bearish move and stops there, it may not justify an effective order block. So the proper way to say it is the last bearish candle before a significant bullish move, or the last bullish candle before a significant bearish move that leads to a break of structure. All right, that is an order block. That is an order block. All right, that is an order block. And I will demonstrate it to you right now. So we said an order block is, a bullish order block is the last bearish candle. So let's assume this is a bearish candle, right? This is a bearish candle. We say the last bearish candle before a significant bullish move is an order block. Okay, it's an order block. The last bearish candle before a significant bullish move is an order block. So this region, therefore, is your order block. So what are you expecting price to do? You're expecting price to come right here and then buy from there. Okay, you're expecting price to come into the order block and then buy from there. All right, that's what you're expecting price to do. So because price will always come to the order block. Okay, price will always come to the order block. So you're expecting price to come into the order block and then buy from there. And the same thing, the last bullish candle before a significant bearish move is your order block. Is your order block. So this zone here is your order block. So what are you expecting price to do? Price will come into your order block and then sell from there. All right, this is a bearish order block. This is a bearish order block. The last bullish candle before the bearish move is your order block. Order block. All right, is your order block. And then a bullish order block is the last bearish candle before the impulsive bullish move. It's your bullish order block. It's your bullish order block. Okay, so I'll show you right in the chart. I'll show you right in the chart. Okay, so let's see. Now, this is this area, this candle right here, for example, is the last bearish candle before the bullish move. So this becomes your order block. Okay, this becomes your order block. And what happened? Price came into it. Okay, price came into your order block here and then bought from there. Price came into the order block and bought from there. It's as simple as that. So we have this is another one. The last bullish candle before a significant bearish move. Okay, the last bullish candle right here is the last bullish candle before a significant bearish move. As you can see right here is your order block. Okay, is your order block. It's your order block. All right. So if you look into the chart, you find order block everywhere. You find order block everywhere. So look at this. This is another one. The last bullish candle, you cover the candle. Okay, you cover the candle before the significant bearish move right there. Okay, is the bearish order block. And what the price do? Price came into the order block. Price sold and then came back into the order block, you know, and even broke through. Okay, as you can see. So that is an order block. That is an order block. All right, that is an order block. So the rule is that price will always come into an order block, you know, because of orders. You know, it's an area where there are large orders that price will always come to. Okay, and sometimes sweep it before going in your direction. So I'll talk more on that as we progress. So I just want to show you what an order block is. Okay, just want to show you what an order block is. And so we move to the next one. We move to the next one, which is a Quasimodo level. What is a Quasimodo level? It's very simple. A Quasimodo is fixed. Okay, there will be a sweep. Let me use, all right. So there will be a sweep of this level and then a break of structure. So this level here is the Quasimodo level. So price will come into this level and then buy from there. This is the original Quasimodo reversal pattern, the QMR. Okay, the QMR. So now having this in mind, okay, I'm going to use it to establish an effective entry point for you guys to see, because I told you that the most effective type of POI that I use is Quasimodo level. Yes, that's the most effective one, because when each time I use the order block, I tend to miss my entry. Okay, so let me explain. Let me explain something right here. Now, okay, let me use the board. Now, this is an order block, right? A bearish, and then we have a bullish move right here. Now, this zone is an order block, right? So we say that price will come into this zone and then buy from there. Okay, so now let's look at our strategy. Okay, our strategy. Let's look at it this way. The first thing first is a basic market structure, right? And then a sweep, a break, structural liquidity, right? So we have a sweep right here. We have the first break of structure. This is type 1, obviously. I hope you still remember. Then we have this break of structure. Okay, so this is structural liquidity. All right, this is a structural liquidity. This is a structural liquidity, and this is the main low. Okay, this is the main low. Okay, so at this point, now let me explain. There is an order block right here, right? There is an order block here. Okay, but instead of using this order block, I'm using the order block that failed. Okay, the order block that failed. Where is the order block that failed? This one. The order block that failed as my point of interest. That's KMR. So what I'm expecting price to do is price to come into my sweep and come into my KMR and then buy from there. This is exactly what I'm expecting price to do. Okay, is what I'm expecting price to do. So, okay, let me explain again. I hope you are following. Let me take this off. Okay. So now this is a basic market structure, right? This is the basic market structure. Now, there's an order block right here, the last bearish candle before the bullish move. Am I right? The last bearish candle before the bullish move is an order block. So what am I expecting price to do? Price is supposed to come into the order block. Okay? Price is supposed to come into the order block. Like this. But I decide to use the order block that failed. This is an order block, right? Once price break through, it means the order block has failed. This is exactly, what I'm talking about. Decide to use the order block that failed. The order block that failed, you see, as my QMR, as the point of interest, the order block that failed. So what am I expecting price to do? Now that the order block has failed, it becomes my POI. And so price break and then come into this zone and then buy from there. It's as simple as that. The order block that failed. Why? Because if I use the order block here, if I use this order block here, price may never come there. You see, price may never come there. So that means you miss your entry. Several times that it has happened. You're expecting price to come into the order block and then it comes close and buys off from there, and bought off from there, several times. So I decided to use the order block that failed to mark out my entry as my POI for takeoff. Okay, as my POI. I hope you're following. So let me show you a live example. But before that, I need you to understand this. So I'll go over it again. We said an order block is the last bullish or bearish candle before a significant move, right? Okay, before a significant move. So this is basic market structure, right? So in this basic market structure, obviously the last bearish candle before this bullish move be around here. The last bearish candle. I hope you're following, right? To be around here. So you mark it out. Okay. But instead of using it as my POI, I wait for it to fail. I wait for it to fail first. Okay. I wait for it to fail first. Okay. I wait for it to fail first. Let me use the board. Okay. So I said this is basic market structure, right? So the last bearish candle before the bullish move will be around here, right? So what I do is to wait for price to come into and then the order block there to fail, and then price break structure, come back into the QMR, and then bought from there. So this is the point of interest. Is better than using the order block here that price may never come to. Hope you're getting it. That's the idea. Okay. That's the idea behind. So let me show you a live example. Okay. Let me show you a live example. Let me show you a live example right here. Now this is I've spot a pattern right here. So the first thing, once you spot your pattern, the first thing first is to mark it out. So we have a sweep right here. Okay, we have a sweep. I expect it to be perfect. You have a sweep right here. Okay. We have a sweep right here. This is the main low. This is the main low. And then this is a structural liquidity right here. This is a structural liquidity right here. And then we have our break of structure right here. And then we have a second break of structure right here. You see that? We have our second break of structure right there. And then, so what are you expecting price to do? Where is our POI? That's what I want to show you. Now, we used the order block that failed. Remember, this is an order block right here, the last bearish candle. Okay. The last bearish candle is an order block, right? But instead of using this order block, okay, instead of using this, it works. It works, but if you don't want to miss an entry, then use the QMR. So where is the QMR? This order block that failed. See this last bearish candle before that bullish move is your order block. You see, is your order block that failed. Is your order block that failed. That is our point of interest. So what are we expecting price to do? Price will come into this POI and then buy from there. You see, this is a live trade. I'm currently waiting for this to trigger, and then I enter the market right from here. This is type 1, right? This is type 1. This is type 1. This is type 1. Okay, so this is the point of interest. This is our point of interest. Okay, this is our point of interest. So I told you we have two types. We have what? The order block and then the QMR. And I demonstrated to you that QMR is usually like this. The QMR is usually like this. Price will sweep, okay, break structure, and then comes back into this line. But instead of this line, we use the order block that fail right here. Once price tap into it, even if it doesn't come to the line, we buy from there. This is what we're talking about. We buy from there. As simple as ABC. As simple as ABC. So let me remind us again about our goal. The first thing first is to look out for the algo market structure, okay, which is a basic market structure like this, and then price come to sweep, give us a break, give us a structural liquidity, give us another break. This is algo market structure. This is algo market structure. So this is our structural liquidity. I taught you already how to validate structural liquidity, and this is our main low. All right. And then this is our sweep. Please always ensure that your sweep is not very far. Otherwise, it is not a sweep. Don't forget. And then this is our first break of structure. And then we have a second break of structure. This is type 1. Okay, this is type 1. So what are we expecting price to do? First, we determine our point of interest. So we are not using this order block, we're using this one that's already filled. So the last bearish candle here becomes our order block. Okay, and then we're waiting for price to come all the way, sweep this structural liquidity, tap into our point of interest, and then buy from there. So we use a long position like this. So we use a long position. This is how we use a long position. We cover this entry here, and then we buy. It's as simple as ABC. Can you see? That's exactly what we have here. That's exactly what we have here. So you cover this and then target this zone right here. This is 1:4 if you're taking this trade. I'm personally going to take this trade. You know, this is a sweet buy structure right here. This is a sweet buy structure right there, type 1. Type 1. Hope you've not forgotten type 2. First, a basic market structure, a sweep, very important. Before the break, it gives us, what? Structural liquidity, and then gives us a break. This is type 2. So guys, this is all about POI. Okay, this is all about POI. And very quickly, the QMR, you can actually trade with the QMR alone. Okay, maybe I'll show you that in our next class. So see you guys in our next class. Don't miss it.